Hi everyone, it's Carissa. Today I wanted to show you how to work a foundation single crochet. This can be used at the beginning of a project, or it can be used to extend a row in the middle of a project. I'm going to show you both today. You're essentially going to be creating your beginning chain and your first row of single crochet at the same time. So it saves you having to create a really long chain and then having to work into that really long chain. It's just a really versatile tool to have in your toolbox. So we're going to start out with a slip knot, as most crochet projects do. I'm going to leave myself a tail, wrap around my fingers, have the tail behind the loop, reach into the loop, grab that tail, and pull both ends of the yarn to tighten. Now I'm going to chain 2, so I will yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now I have 2 chains. I'm going to work into the second chain from the hook, or the first chain that we created here. I'm going to insert my hook into that chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, and I want to make sure that that loop is nice and loose. That's going to act as our first chain of our beginning chain. So we want to make sure that that's nice and loose so that the edge of our project doesn't sort of curve like it does when your chain is a little bit too tight. So I make sure that stitch is nice and loose. And now I'm going to work a single crochet into that new fake chain. So it's as if I've already inserted my hook into the fabric here. I'm going to yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. And that creates my first single crochet. Now I'm going to work into the first chain that I made over here on the edge. If I turn my fabric up on its edge, you can kind of see the V of that first chain that I made. I'm going to insert my hook under both legs of that V, yarn over and pull up a loop. And again, I want to make sure that that loop is nice and loose. That's going to act as our next chain. And then I'll work a single crochet into it by doing a yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So now I've created my second single crochet. So I'm essentially alternating chain, single crochet, chain, single crochet. Turn my work on the edge a little bit. We can see the V's lining up of our beginning chain here. I'm going to work into the last V that I just made. Insert my hook under both legs of that V, yarn over, pull up a loop, make sure it's nice and loose, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2 to create our next single crochet. Turn our work on edge, look for the V's of our chain, insert my hook under both legs of that V, yarn over, pull up a loop, keep it loose, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. I'm going to continue working this way to create as many foundation single crochets as I need. And you'll notice that as I work, it's building up vertically, where normally we work in horizontal rows. That's okay, that's just the nature of foundation crochet stitches. We're going to build up our foundation crochet vertically, and then when we start to work in rows, that's when we'll turn it to be horizontal. So let's continue working a few more of these foundation single crochets. I'll turn my work up on edge to look at the bottom edge, find the V's of my chain, insert my hook under both legs of that V, yarn over, pull up a loop, nice and loose, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. Turn my work up on edge, look for the V's, insert my hook under both legs of the last V, yarn over, pull up a loop, keep it loose, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. And I'm going to continue doing that until I have as many stitches as my pattern indicates. So if your pattern says, you know, chain 10 and then work single crochets in each of those chains, well, you could just do a foundation single crochet 10 times instead. Pull up a loop, pull through 1, pull through 2, insert into my next V, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. And if you lose track of how many stitches you've made, you can just turn it horizontally like you're used to looking at and count how many stitches. So this vertical bar here is not a stitch. This V right here is our first stitch. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And the loop on our hook does not count as a stitch. So I have 10 foundation single crochets here. So to begin my first row, I'm going to proceed as normal. I will chain 1 for my turning chain, and then turn my work over and insert my hook into my first stitch and work a single crochet to the next stitch, single crochet, next stitch, single crochet, just like normal. Now we'll build up my fabric just like you're used to seeing. And there's the end of my second row, or my first row after the foundation crochet. And you'll see that because I kept my chain loops nice and loose, my project doesn't curve like it sometimes does when your chain is too tight. It lays nice and straight. Okay, so I've worked a few more rows here, and say at the end of this next row, I want to extend my work and make my project a little bit wider. I can do that by chaining a few stitches and then turn around and work into those chains as I come back. Or I can use foundation single crochet to extend this row the same way that I used foundation single crochet to begin this project. So first I'm going to work to the end of this row just as normal. Work my single crochets all the way up until the very last stitch in this row here. But now I'm not going to turn yet. If I want to extend this row further, I'm going to start working foundation single crochets just as before, but now I'm going to join it into the same hole, the same stitch where I just worked my last stitch. So I'm going to insert my hook at the base of my last stitch into the same stitch I just worked into. Yarn over and pull up a loop and keep that nice and loose, because that is going to serve as our first chain of our foundation single crochet that extends our project here. So now I'll work my single crochet, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. And now we've gone back to what we did in the beginning. We have, if we turn our work on edge, we can see that last V right there that we just created as our first chain of this extending foundation crochet. So I'm going to insert my hook under both legs of that V, yarn over and pull up a loop nice and loose, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2 to create a single crochet. Turn our work on edge and look for the last V that we created. Insert my hook under both legs, yarn over and pull up a loop nice and loose for my next chain, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. And I can continue doing that for as many stitches as I need to extend my row. And when I have enough stitches, then I'm going to work my turning chain, chain 1, turn my work over, and work back in the other direction. Work my single crochets all the way across here. So now you can see how I have extended my project off to the other side using that Foundation Single Crochet technique. I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you for watching.